Hey guys, it's Whiskey. Let's move on to the flush part 2. You know, sometimes there's a double flush in there when you haven't quite figured out how to get things out. Support groups and special interests, that's what we'll call them, special interests. Your hobbies, your affiliations to other groups, sometimes they're associated with colors of red and blue. You have to be careful what you say because of social media, of course. Those different groups and different things that have changed through popular culture and things that you've liked or things that you've done in your life or you've been affiliated with. Look back through those groups because I promise you, things I was doing 10 years ago, I'm not doing now. Groups of people that I thought I aligned with 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 2 years ago, really important in our history right now, right? 2 years ago, there's a lot of people in groups that have really shown their true colors, and those groups just don't serve me anymore. So I go through and I just delete them. Just get rid of them. Don't make the big to-do about, oh, y'all are done. I'm done with y'all. I'm out. Peace out, buttercup. Nope, just hit delete and go. Nobody cares. Seriously. People are so self-absorbed, and not always intentionally. Don't let me make that an argument. They're not always intentionally self-absorbed. We should be looking at ourselves and protecting ourselves, yes. But what we always think is important isn't necessarily what other people think is important. So sometimes we just need to gracefully bow out and go. Okay, I promise you, when you make a big to-do about leaving a group and you leave, they didn't have anything nice to say to you when you left. You didn't make a bit of difference other than giving them somebody to talk about. So just don't. Okay, just go. The last video I did was talking about cleaning out your social media in general and talking about necessarily personal people and stuff like that in your life or affiliations. They're not necessarily friends that you're deleting, right? You're deleting affiliations. Somebody I went to high school with, gasp, what? 25 or 30 years ago? That's insane. 25, 30 years ago. I don't even want to do the math right now. Some of those people, just because I went to high school with them 30 years ago, they are not the people I went to high school with. We have all grown. We have all changed. If they have not grown or changed, that's not the individual you want to hang out with either. Okay? Because everybody grows and everybody changes unless they're trying not to. Let them go. And the thing with private people and even some of the groups, only twice in the 11 years that I've had social media, only twice on Facebook have I deleted somebody and they've come back and said, hey, I don't know what happened, but I'm not on your Facebook anymore. And I'm like, oh, so sorry. Must have been an overlook or a mishap. I'll add you back. And then you give them another 6 months in a cycle to see maybe you misjudged. Maybe they're just not active on Facebook. You know, so they did genuinely look for you as long as it is a healthy relationship, right? And then you just add them back. It has only happened to me twice. Nobody has ever come back to me and yelled at me and gotten mad because I deleted them off Facebook. Because those people that I deleted probably didn't care to the extent that I thought they did anyway. So the private people, that's the big thing. The groups don't care if you leave. They just want their numbers anyway. You know, I make a point not to necessarily be a number. If you're not serving my purpose, I'm not in your group anymore. If people want to fight, and this is the big one, if people are causing division in any way, we gotta change that, guys. We gotta change the divisive crap. And a lot of these groups don't serve us anymore. You know, oh well, they're the red group. Well, that's great. But they're still drawing a line in the sand where they're not gonna work with the blue group. Okay? And oh, they're the blue group. Well, that's great. They could be blue. But they're drawing a line in the sand that they're not gonna work with the red group. And it's being reinforced by all of our social media. You're not necessarily making all those decisions on your own, even though you think you are. Okay? So we need to start cutting back and start not necessarily detoxing and going all off because we still like our social media, but at least molt, right? Like the first video. You got to molt. You've got to shed what's not serving you anymore. And this just really gets my goat. You know, I'm really not frustrated or tired, but I really think we can do better as a society. We can. And we have more brains than anybody gives us credit for. We have more creativity. We have more independence than anybody gives us for. And some of us might not think we do. We've just forgotten that we do. You know, but we have to take and make little short steps along the way to change what we're doing, or it's never going to change. And one of those things, one of those major things, is our media. What media do we take part in? What are we watching? You know, watch a sitcom or watch your movie or watch your sitcom or watch your news and ask yourself, what are they trying to teach me? Because they're trying to teach you something. Is it in my best interest? Is this where I want to be in 5 years? You know, is the violence in the world and the violence on my media the violent world I want to live in 5 years? In 1 year? Do we want to be there anymore? I don't know about you. My answer is no. So I've had to teach myself to see the perspective above the perspective. So where there is the duality of good or bad, if whatever your belief system is, first of all, if you have a belief system and you believe something, you automatically have to defend it. So a lot of people don't want to listen to what the other side has to say, because both sides think they're right in any situation. Both sides think they're right because that's what they believe in. So they want to own their perspective and not look at any other one. And it doesn't help us. But when you learn to see the perspective from the perspective of the perspectives, then you kind of step back and you're the observer. And you sit back and you see how everybody around you functions. And you start to realize, hey, there's some cool things going on that blue side. Hey, there's some cool things and some good foundations on that red side. Hey, you know, a lot of my friends are right down the middle on the universe, basically, because I've changed my circle. And more people are doing that. But I think some people are either they don't see it yet and they don't realize it. Oh yeah, and let's talk about this, right? Like, this hasn't caused the same argument, right? Everybody argues about that right now. So, same problem, different venue. They're getting us. Just a lot of people haven't figured that out yet. You know, I have a sweet friend of mine in complete tears yesterday because she's super, super sick with that crazy stuff going around. And she's had 3 of these. And God love her. She's doing everything she can to take care of herself. And she's doing a great job. She's actually over the worst of it. But she got on social media yesterday and made a video in tears about second guessing her choices or what other people's choices were. And she ended that video with, it didn't matter what choice she made, she's going to own what she did. You know, or didn't do. It goes either way. You know, and I'm on the perspective of the perspective, do what you want to do. Do what you think is best for you, because it's your bubble. It's your bubble. Do what you need to do, but be informed when you do it. Don't put the blinders on. Don't not listen and take into account somewhere else. Be mindful of censorship, because they're getting you on that one too. And I know I got off on a tangent with the flushing, but it's the same kind of flush. We've got to flush our minds, guys. We've got to flush our social medias, and we've got to move on with our business, because this is not serving us at all. And we're at that point where we've got to get through it. Okay? It's a brand new year. Everybody wants to make resolutions. Don't make a resolution. Everybody breaks them anyway. Just take a step. Take a step and do the next right thing for you. All right? Talk to you later. Bye.